So as you guys may or may not know, Saturday was my birthday. So I just wanted to take a little moment at the beginning of the video to say thanks for all the birthday wishes I received from you, special nice people. So I asked you guys to tell me if you want to learn anything new or recreate something specific in Photoshop, and you dropped a couple of comments in the description of that video, and one of the comments was from Sarah. She said, "Justin, thank you for tutorial. I hope you can do one on how to create the LORAX TRUFFULA tree in Photoshop. I have tried and it's not that successful, and there are no tutorials on this on YouTube. Hope you can consider, as I think many would love to do this whimsical tree to incorporate into their photo manipulation." So she's talking about the LORAX animation. Trust me guys when I say you don't want to see how I did it, because it's a hell of a hard process, and I think it took me hours to finally come up with something that actually looks good. So in order to create this piece, if I want to just tell you in a summary how it was done, I created a circle out of a fur texture, and then I made it a little bit more fairy using a brush that I had made, and then I had to use some ponytail hair of girls and horsetails from very different images and cut them out and put them in a circular motion so that it resembles the shape of a TRUFFULA tree. And I had to match their lightings and their colors. I had to do a lot of warping and a ton of liquify, and at the end I had to just merge them all together and do a lot of smudging using the smudge tool to get it look consistent and flawless. So it took me actually a lot of time, and for the stem of the tree I found a tree. It was a little swirly and I had to straighten it up and put some stripes on it using a color adjustment layer and put these two together, and finally the tree was made. It was a very boring, exhausting process, so I decided not to include it in this video. But don't worry if you don't know how to make it. I'm not gonna just let you hang in there. I am giving away 2 TRUFFULA trees that I have made. I actually think these are the first TRUFFULA trees ever made in Photoshop, because I couldn't find any PNG or stock photo or even a 3D model of this tree online available to download. So these are the first ones, and they might not look marvelous and extraordinary because that was my first time making them, but they are usable, and I will improve on them and give them away as soon as I can. But as for now, this is my gift to you as a birthday gift. You can download them and use them in your own projects, and just like Sarah said, many want to incorporate these whimsical trees in their photo manipulations. So there you go, and if you ever create something with it, make sure to tag me and use my hashtag JustinDesign so I can see what you've done with them. Thanks. But moving on to the main composition, this is a piece, I call it On the Moon, and this is actually a representation of my 20-year-old birthday. The asteroids or the rocks that you see around the moon are actually 21 years of my life, and the moon is my ruling planet because my zodiac sign is Cancer, and those 3 clouds at the bottom are actually 3 groups of life rejuvenation, because as you know, every 7 years our old cells in the body die and new ones are reborn. So actually we are reborn. Okay, not going too crazy with this. It's getting too scientific. Let's enjoy the artistic side. So here I have a photo of myself floating in the air as usual, and I have a background of a cityscape shot from above. It's an aerial shot actually, so the first thing I did is to add the moon to the scene and adjust it in the center of the image. I wanted everything to be centered properly, and then I had to readjust the colors of the background a little bit, and the only thing I did is to remove the background of the city, and I used the channels for that because there was pretty good contrast between the sky and the buildings. So channels would be a great option here to mask out the city. And if you don't know how to use the channels, just let me know, because I'm assuming that everybody here has a knowledge of using these tools in Photoshop. then it was time to light up the moon. So to do that, just go to your blending options, add an outer glow, adjust the color, adjust the opacity, and use the screen blend mode, and add 2 drop shadows with 2 different colors and different opacities with the same blend mode of screen, and it makes the halo around your moon. But to make the main glow, I actually duplicated my moon layer, rasterized it, add some Gaussian blur, then I duplicated it again, add some more Gaussian blur or Gaussian blur, whatever you want to call it, and I repeated this process over and over again and up into 5 to 6 layers. Then I merged all the layers and changed the blend mode to screen and adjusted the opacity, and it gives you a pretty much realistic, good looking, awesome glow, literally to everything, not just to the moon. Everything can glow with this method. Then I added a very simple image of a sky to the scene just to add a little bit more punch to the background. It was too simple, so it needed something back there. And here was the coolest part of the work. I found 21 images of asteroids and rocks from different websites, from Google Images and all that, and then I brought them into the image and put them in an order of the smallest one to the biggest one, just to represent the years of my life, from 1 to 21. I colorized some of them with hue saturation to match the color of them with the rest of the rocks, and then I painted the highlights using the same blend if technique that I taught you in the previous video. So just clip a layer, add some blend if to it, and paint on the areas that you need the highlights to be on. And it looks great. And to paint the highlights on my body, I used the same old method in some areas, but since it was going to be the same length of highlight all over my body, I used the simple trick. So to do this, you actually are going to need to control click on your model layer to load its selection, and then you go to select, modify, and contract the selection for a couple of pixels, and then inverse the selection, create a layer, and fill that layer with the color you want, and it's going to create a rim light around your subject. You might need to erase that from some areas, but that works great if there are situations like this where you have to paint even highlights all over your model. Of course, I always use my old method to paint highlights, just a simple layer and a normal blend mode, and I just paint. It's all about the drawing skills, as you know, and I've said it many times before. And these little clouds, I added them to the scene, as I said, as a symbol for 3 groups of life rejuvenation, 7 years, and added a little contrast to make them more moody using a S-curve. I hope you enjoyed today's video as well and learned something new, and if you did, please consider liking this video. That'll help me a lot. And don't forget to comment down for me if you want to learn about anything specific, or if you did not understand any part of the video. If you want to improve your skills, just comment down for me and I'll make tutorials on them just like I did today. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next video.